During this time of social isolation, our need for entertainment has never been greater. Let's check out some of the great television and movies available on streaming platforms. And we're going to be doing just that tonight here on our show, Now Streaming. Otherworldlyculture.com presents Now Streaming. That's tonight's program. Thanks for joining us. I'm the Tim character from Otherworldlyculture.com. And we have something that's really in my wheelhouse, probably my favorite genre of movie. That is, of course, we're going to be talking about a horror film. Ooh, are you scared yet? If the last couple of weeks haven't scared you, you're never going to get scared. And here we are with our movie pick, which is available for a small fee on Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video. Absolutely one of the best monster movies ever made. I'm a monster guy. I love monster movies. This is one of my favorites. And this is a monster movie that has a brain. There's a brain attached to this one instead of just crush people and all that sort of thing. Let's get into telling you just a little bit about this flick. The basic setup, it's a Stephen King story, first of all. A short story. I think it was in Graveyard Shift. I'll be corrected by somebody, I'm sure. A freak storm unleashes IMDb, writing too difficult things for me to write. Freak storm unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where a small band of citizens hole up in a supermarket and fight for their lives. This is probably the most inane synopsis I've read, because it's so much more than that. This is Thomas Jane is the star of this movie. It's directed by Frank Darabont. Yes, that guy, the guy that did Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption and the good season of The Walking Dead. In fact, half the cast of this movie is from The Walking Dead. It's a story about what happens to people when they don't understand what's happening. Now, what do you think that might connect to today? You know, very much there's this mysterious mist that just covers everything. And this is not to be confused with The Fog. There are no pirate ghosts in the entire film. Not a single one. This mist is covering everything, and they know it's dangerous because they see, like, tentacles pop out of it and, you know, scary stuff, and people are getting pulled into it and killed, okay? So they know it's dangerous, but they really don't know the nature of the danger that's in there. Does it remind you of anything? I mean, this really hits home with what's going on in the world right now as we're all in quarantine. So they decide to hole up at this supermarket grocery store. And this is one of the old-fashioned grocery stores. There's no attached Walmart. It isn't like you're in a mall like Dawn of the Dead. It's just a grocery store. And what happens is people start breaking into little groups. One of the groups becomes very, very religious. One of the groups is very pragmatic. One of the groups just bebops back and forth as much as they want. There's people that have more information. There's some military people there that have a little more information what might be going on, and they are shutting the hell up. There are some of the best set pieces you're ever going to see. The first sequence where you really get to see the tentacles of one of the monsters. They're at a back loading dock with a roll-up garage door that goes there. And that is some of the freakiest stuff because you just don't know what's on the other side of that garage door as it's whipping these tentacles out and trying to pull people in. There's a scene in the pharmacy that is absolutely spectacular and very frightening that occurs. An excellent sequence as well. But on top of all that, you have some fantastic acting. You have Thomas Jane, who I think is frequently underrated. His version of The Punisher, to me, is one of the best comic book movies that nobody's seen. I mean, a lot of people haven't seen that movie, and he's absolutely fantastic in it. He has a great fight sequence that goes on for about 55 minutes with Nash. Just great actor and needs to be seen more often. Also in Deep Blue Sea. Then you have Andre Browner, who is in there. He's on the police show, and I don't watch it, so I forget. Is it something 99, Precinct 99? Can't remember, but he was in Homicide. That's what I used to watch him in. Homicide: Life in the Streets. Absolutely powerful actor. Sickinger from Walking Dead is in there. There's a lot of people. If you like an actor from The Walking Dead, there's a good chance there's somewhere in here. William Sadler is absolutely spectacular as kind of this hick, hillbilly type. Absolutely great. What is his name? Toby. He played Hitchcock in The Girl. Oh, and I promised myself I wasn't going to check IMDb and try to do this from memory. But there are just some excellent acting sequences in the movie. And actually, there is quite a bit of talking. For a monster movie, it isn't action from beginning to end. And things just get progressively bleak. And by the time they get to the end of the movie, what our protagonist starts to come to the idea is, I might be safer with the monsters outside than I am with these nuts that are all in here with me. And it leads to one of the greatest endings of a horror movie ever. In fact, Stephen King does not end his short story the same way. Reno 911. No, that's incorrect. I know that's not it. But the ending, they wanted a good ending for the movie. The short story didn't have a very good ending. I know you're shocked to hear a Stephen King story did not have a great ending. Though I think Salem's Lot did. Most of the stuff I read by him, I would agree. Yeah, not very strong on endings. They came up with an ending that just brings home the whole idea of you can make some really bad decisions if you don't know the whole story, if you don't know what's going on. And I'm not going to get into the spoilers, but this whole movie is about fear based on the unknown. And it feels so strong right now with what's going on in the world. It's absolutely fantastic film. You should check it out. Again, available on Amazon. I think it's like $2.99 or $3.99. Now, another thing to know, if you end up streaming this and going, holy crap, I have to own this. There is a version of the movie in black and white. He originally wanted to shoot this in black and white, and, the studios, as always, are like, I don't want some in black and white. You can't sell a movie in black and white, which is certainly true. Schindler's List didn't make a single dollar. So, but he wanted to make it in black and white, which I think would have made more sense, because it is kind of a throwback to a 50s and early 60s type of vibe to the whole movie. And when you look at the supermarket, it doesn't look like a modern supermarket. This thing was only made, I think, at most 10 years ago. It doesn't look like a supermarket today. It looks like a 1950s supermarket. So, yeah, there are some of these supermarkets still around, but I mean, it looks more like that. And certainly the pharmacy kind of looks that way as well. A great movie. You should watch it. You should absolutely react in fear when they just don't know what's happening. And it is one of the best movies you're likely to see. Hope that you can check it out and enjoy it. The Mist by Frank Darabont, based on a story by Stephen King. That's it for this week's Now Streaming. We'll be back next week if we're still all in quarantine, which, let's face it, we're gonna be. So until then, remember to wash your hands. Otherworldlyculture.com